Hey ghosties. Thought I'd try something new. Since I love rambling, I decided to talk to you about the history of my camera characters in my project Showstopper. The Electros, named Cosmo suggested. I also call them Shutterstocks as a joke. While Electros like Lynn and Pam, or their kids Clarissa and Emmett, only came into existence recently, the species has been around my little multiverse for a long time. When I was young, like toddler young, and Lord knows for what reason, I was extremely fixated on cameras. I kept stealing my mom's phone to take pictures, more than your average toddler would. Rather than getting upset, my parents made a guessing game of what I took pictures of, like, were they looking at my nose or my toe? In this strange interest in cameras, I got out my crayons, went down to the playroom, and scribbled up an imaginary friend for myself. He was just camera guy. He was just as beloved as all my other imaginary friends, many of which I turned into OCs back in 2021, but that's a story for another time. Maybe I'll tell it if I enjoy making this one. But anyways, after I stopped playing with only figments, I thought out more of these camera characters. Unfortunately, my drawing of them was lost long ago in the first grade desk cleanup at the end of the school year. Now, many years later, I brought them back for my Showstopper project. The main one is familiar Lynn's camera guy. He's not just Kim Guy or Lynn. He's the one who records and airs non-stop Showstopper to all the miscellaneous beings in my mind that aren't in a project, or perhaps where the idea was scrapped. Cam Guy has a family, originally just known as Cam Wife and Cam Kids, but now they've all been named. There's Lynn's lovely wife, Pam, and their two children. First there's their son, Emmett, and their daughter, Clarissa. You know, it's funny. Back when I watched Hazbin Hotel for the first time in quarantine, I thought, what if there was a radio host who was broadcasting my thoughts and ideas to all the little characters in my brain, and the host was a little version of me? And then I thought about adding the little camera guys, but I put it aside, finding it dumb. Then, in early 2021, I was basically living in my mind, always maladaptive daydreaming, but I still wasn't speaking my true thoughts and feelings. And then, that's when I remembered the idea of Showstopper, and I started brainstorming more about her. And then, once I was playing the, to be completely honest with myself and you, wretched looking beta signs on Gosh Club on my now melted tablet, I saw something I didn't ever expect. John, one of the channels that got me through quarantine, had the randomizer Skyblock. And that's how I found out about Mr. Dancy Hands, now usually called Mr. Joe. It was like seeing someone I looked up to execute the idea I was too scared to, and I didn't even talk about it to anyone yet. It was so cool. I, being as uninformed as I was, copied the design a bit. I admit that. Back at this time, I didn't know how wrong tracing was, as I learned most of my art from how to draw videos, and my style was very much absorbed from the artists I liked. Showstopper's redesign introduction, which I'll put on screen now, even says in all caps it's now less of a Dancing Hands copy. This project has grown up with me, and it started when I was so young I had to sneak the crayons to use them because I was too little and could choke. And this project didn't start with Showstopper herself, but the incredibly tired cameraman for her talk show. If you guys want, I could make another one of these talking more about Showstopper and her coworker Emmy. For now, though, it seems our story time is over. Hope you enjoyed, ghosties. I'll see you in the next video. This has been your ghostly host, with the host herself, Ghost. Bye-bye!